Well, hey, welcome to The Gathering Greenhouse, a podcast to help us grow together. In today's episode, we're going to taste test all the peeps you can imagine. We're going to ask Andrew a few questions about his recent sermon, and then we're going to find out what it takes to be a good dad.
Welcome to The Gathering Greenhouse. We are excited to be here today, and we have a really fun podcast in store. I'm Steve, the host today, and this is my friend Andrew.
Yeah, it's good to be here. It took me a second to figure out what camera to look at, so I'm hoping I'm looking at the right camera, but I'm glad to be on the podcast
You're looking at the wrong camera. It doesn't matter.
Which camera? There's three of them.
It doesn't matter which camera. It's the wrong one.
All wrong. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you. No, it's good to be here, Steve.
Yeah.
Hang out with you and talk, so.
Yeah, I'm excited to get to spend a little time talking with you, but before we get into some of the serious stuff of your sermon, which I'm excited to talk about that as well, I have something fun planned for us today, and I'm going to bring it out right now.
All right. Hey, this is it's like you.
Andrew doesn't know what it is. I didn't prep him for this. So I went to the store, and you can't separate Easter from Peeps. Peeps is like everywhere.
Oh.
And I went and bought a few Peeps, but I saw something. I don't know if you've noticed this, but that there's a Peeps flavored Pepsi. Have you seen that?
I have seen it.
Have you tried it?
I haven't tried it. I've seen people online trying to find
Matt,
it.
is it good, Matt? Matt has tried it.
I love it.
He loves it. Okay. I could only buy it in like a 12-pack, and I'm like, I'm not going to buy a 12-pack of this stuff.
I'm not invested that much into this Pepsi for Peeps.
But I'm just going to show you what I have here. These are kind of like as close as I'm getting to the classic Peeps. I'm not saying we're going to try all these, but I have a few of them. But I have, these are like classic Peeps, but they're like the bunny style. So we can try them and see, does the bunny style make it taste any different? I don't know.
Then what is it? Because they're technically chickens?
That was actually, it's funny you say that because that was my first question here within this. What does Peeps even mean? Is it the sound that a baby chick makes? That's kind of what I was thinking. What do you think Peeps even means?
I don't know. I think it was like the sound because you make the sound, you go beep, beep.
Beep, beep, beep,
I don't know if that's
beep,
what they're trying to go
beep,
on
beep,
here.
That's what I picture a little baby chick.
Some of these are very interesting that you got here.
Do you ever take your kids to the Tractor Supply and check out the baby chicks?
It's funny that you say that. So when we lived in Mount Vernon, which is a smaller town, there wasn't a whole lot to do there, but we had a rural king.
Yeah. Okay. Do they do the same thing?
Well, it was amazing because you could walk in, you get the free popcorn up front. So me and Judy would go get
free
the popcorn.
Oh,
yeah, you get the
Tractor
popcorn.
Supply does not have free popcorn.
You get a coffee and walk around. But Judy used to call it the chicken store. He'd be like, Daddy, can we go to the chicken store? I feel
like a farmer every time I walk into the Tractor Supply. I'm like instantly like, I need my overalls on.
Steve walks into Rural King with a credit card and leaves with overalls, a tractor, a bunch of chickens.
And all kinds of random like hitches for a trailer I don't possess.
I might need this someday. I don't know.
Don't have a trailer, but I need a hitch for it.
Just in case I get one. Yes. I'm ready.
Great. Well, let's try some of these. And you know what? The one that I'm most excited about is kettle corn. And you know what I saw this on the way out. This is a Kroger exclusive.
Whoa.
You can only purchase these at Kroger.
We might not want to open
according to the sign, but the only place the sign was you can have some. You have some. Oh, okay.
I thought he was asking.
I have some.
Want some.
He has some of the kettle corn ones. Okay. So Matt has tried those. This is did you know these are exclusive to Kroger? He did know that. The only place I saw it was in like a very small display by the register, and it had down at the bottom, it had the price and it said exclusive in like small print, exclusive. I'm like, that's a big deal. Like if you can literally only get this flavor at Kroger, why aren't you advertising that? Kroger, I hope you're watching and listening.
I'm not sure we should open this. I mean, this might be worth something one day. Like,
it'll probably last forever and always be valuable.
You make a really good point there. Like, we don't open this package and we save. No, I can go get another one.
Okay.
We can try them.
Now, does it cost the same?
It costs the same.
Okay.
The exact same price. So I'm going to kind of put these up here so those folks watching us at home can. Which one would you like to try first?
The one. Let's try this. Let's try the
kettle corn. You want to start the exclusive? Okay, I like the way your mind works. You are the. I guess you're the guest. I don't know what we would call you today, but
all right, here we go.
Since I like you as well, I'll let you go first.
All right, I'll let you grab your peep out.
Okay, and I'm gonna throw a peep over here.
Do you smell that?
It smells.
Here.
John, up above the light. Oh, he caught it. That was amazing.
Have you guys ever done it?
I don't mean to touch your peep, but
Dude, one of the best things ever is to put the peep in the microwave.
Give it a smell.
Have you ever done that?
A peep in a microwave. I have.
Explodes.
Give it a smell, John. It smells like kettle corn right off the bat.
And no, it smells like walking in.
That is
the movie
trippy
theater.
because I know it's a marshmallow, but
Yeah.
it
Well, let's
smells
give it a
just
try.
like
We're
popcorn.
gonna
Dink it.
dink it
And sink it?
Sink it.
This is the best podcast we've ever done.
Yeah. I'm not getting kettle corn in the
Everybody
beginning.
like chew really close on the mic, you know?
It tastes very sweet. It tastes much like a sweet marshmallow in the beginning.
It does. You don't get the popcorn right up front. I do like.
I got it for a slight bit. It was like after I had kind of cut through the marshmallow, it came.
Yeah.
But I got butter first, and then I got a slight hint of kettle.
It's playing on the sweet and savory, which I like. Sweet
Yeah.
and savory.
Do
I
you-
like spicy sweet. I like those flavor. Is it
Combinations?
infusions or combinations? I don't know.
Sweet and savory.
Yeah.
You're a
So-
sweet and savory kind of guy.
When you pulled these out, I wasn't
Which
excited.
it kind of matches your personality. I'm not going to lie on
savory?
this one.
What's that
He's a
supposed
sa-
to mean?
Do you guys remember the commercial that was like, you know, you want both, you know, sweet and sour. You don't want sweet or sour. And
Yeah.
It was like,
Both.
like a guy eating sour chicken.
You're just a really nice guy, but the more you get to know you,
Yeah.
you're like, this guy's for real. He is actually,
okay.
he's not just like being nice to me. He actually is someone I'd like to spend time with. You know, that's the sweet and savory aspect.
That's the, which one was so sweet?
John's dying over here about this.
I like you explaining that.
Yeah, that's where I was going with the sweet and savory. I
God,
did.
why
I
do you
wasn't.
never say
I wasn't
things like
just
that to
saying
me?
that.
I will say that I was nervous when you played it because I don't like Peeps, but I do kind of like this.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys, but like this, I kind of dig that.
All right. Well, what would you like to try? Do you want to
Let's
try
try-
all three?
I don't care, man.
Okay. Well, which would you like to go
No,
for
you
next?
Pick. You pick now.
So I think we're gonna stick with the theme of doing the more wild flavor combination. They also had a hot tamale one, a fruit punch one, a birthday cake one. I didn't go with any of those. I kind of went with this one because I thought, you know, watermelon is not something I would think as a combination for Peeps.
All right.
The package
Oh,
smells
wow.
really good right from the beginning.
Are you ready? I'm gonna throw this
Yeah.
one.
I'll give one to Matt. What I like on this one is it's got a
this one
nice
too.
green
I'm that
color,
good.
but then the pink is also like, these are very, I don't know if John's more the color guy, but it's a nice contrast between colors. When I
is
see
not
the
good
colors,
Not
I
good.
think
These is
watermelon.
not good. Well, it smells really good.
It smells really good.
I'm gonna try it now. Let's try.
we-
Ready to dink it?
Yep.
Second.
I would
Tastes
say
like that fake watermelon.
It does.
And I'm not a fan of that.
no,
Oh wow, the aftertaste is bad.
but I will say the aftertaste is not good. But I will say I immediately got watermelon more. It's kind of like an acidic flavor
you
in my
know when
mouth
you
that's sticking
brush
around.
your teeth and then
Yes.
you drink orange juice.
yes,
That's what this tastes like.
Yeah.
yeah.
very-
Well, there's nothing sour about it. Like I'm sitting here trying to. I just.
No, it's not sour at all. So if you like sour things, do not eat it. Matt looks confused right now. Do you agree?
No,
Are you a Peeps guy?
I am.
Okay, he loves Peeps.
I don't like Peeps.
Okay, well let's.
He's a peep peep.
Oh really?
He's a Peep.
He gives it a 10.
Yeah.
So the first one he rated 8 out of 10, and the watermelon one was a 10 of 10. So about
So-
the best Peep you could get.
So 3 of us agreed and Matt is wrong.
Okay.
and Matt is wrong.
Okay.
All right, now we're gonna find out if the different shades.
This is just different shade. This is about the most classic Peep. What's the classic Peep color to you, by the way?
Yellow.
Yellow. I would agree. That was what I was thinking.
Probably because like when
John.
I think of a baby
Up
chick. I
above it.
think-
Oh, no.
Oh.
Round
No, I threw
Hey.
it more to the side.
How great would that have
Second
been if it
chance.
would have gone to that open tile and just had a Peep
Let's-
up there forever?
Yeah.
There's sometimes our birds up there. So
Yeah, true. All right, let's try it.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, you know what's weird? This one is the softest. It's like a really nice pillow, very pillowy. You can see
is.
that.
The funny ones.
It's very nice.
The
It like
rebound.
almost like if a marshmallow could melt in your mouth, that's almost what it's doing.
I'll say though, the texture difference between those
Yeah.
two and this are different.
Very different.
Do you think it's the shape?
Is that what Matt? Is that what you're saying? He's saying the shape matters. So I also got a little more of the crunch from the sugar too on
Yeah.
that one. Maybe because it's smaller, but there is a difference.
I think so too. I
There's
think
a
the
clear-
shape makes a difference.
I'm shocked. I am shocked.
do you
right
do you
now.
like the bunny better than the duck?
Yes,
or the
for
chicken,
sure.
whatever it is?
For sure.
Um,
Texture, enjoyment, everything was better
think
with
so,
that
too.
one. Now, I would also probably argue that the flavors detract from the Peep. So I'm probably more of a classic Peep thing, but beyond that, like just the crazy flavors, I love how they do this. The packaging is top notch.
The flavor.
you agree?
distracts from
I
the sugar
agree. Well,
what
the thing
Steve
is
just
like
said.
the
Marketing.
smell.
They have a genius marketing company because Peeps are literally like on everything at Easter time.
Yes, they are.
Now, how can they take this Peeps brand idea and make it beyond Easter? That is a
Pepsi.
challenge.
Pepsi. Do you think
No,
Pepsi's
that's not
stick
going to
with it?
last. It'll be like crystal clear Pepsi. It's just going to
true.
be, they might bring it back every once in a while.
It's not going to make it.
Okay. Well, that was a lot of fun.
That was. Thank you for bringing these
You're
peeps.
welcome. You're welcome.
I was shocked with this one. I was surprised with that one right there.
Okay, so let's get into some questions about your sermon
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah.
By the way, you did a great job. I got to sit in there for a good chunk of it. I never get to sit in for the whole sermon.
Connections guys got to get back to the
Yeah,
lobby.
I got to get back outside and make sure everything's going good. So, first question here is, how was Joseph able to stay faithful through all that he had to endure and go through? How did he remain faithful?
Well, hang on. Let me grab something real
Yeah,
quick, all right?
okay.
Let me grab. I'm just going to grab my backpack.
He's grabbing his backpack.
I'm just going to grab my backpack
Okay.
here. Oh, wait. Wait. This is your backpack, right?
It is my
Okay, hold on to
backpack.
that for a
Okay.
second. It looks-
This is an inside joke, by the way.
It looks exactly like my backpack.
Is that how I? So
can't
I
tell
didn't
the
bring my
difference at all.
backpack in here. I was like, I don't remember bringing it in.
So this is an inside joke.
Yeah.
All I want you guys to do is comment. Do you see
Oh, this
two
is a good
different
comment.
backpacks, or do you see very similar backpacks?
Okay, so that's question
can't tell
number
the
one.
difference.
Question number two: Is this similar on both back? Is this a style of backpack?
My
that
backpack
this?
has a buckle and a zipper too. So it's
well,
exactly the
they both
same.
got zippers, so they're the same, right?
They are. They're clearly the exact same.
All right.
My,
Little
my
inside
pants are
joke.
black, so I
Inside
look just
joke.
like Steve.
I was wondering why my backpack was in here.
I had to do that.
I thought I brought it in. I'm like, why would I bring my backpack in here?
All right. So the question was,
Okay, yes.
how was Joseph able
Right.
to stay faithful through it
Right.
all?
Yeah.
And that's like one of the most fascinating things with the story of Joseph to me is because if you think about all the stuff that happened, because he started out as the favorite child with
Yeah.
the jacket, and
Yeah.
then things just
He
went
was
bad.
slightly cocky though.
You think so?
His dream, I mean, you got to have a little wisdom with the audience you're presenting things to. You got to communicate it in the appropriate fashion.
his brothers.
That would be the only critique I might have of him, is he was a little bit cocky with his dream at the beginning.
Right. Like maybe have a little bit of a chill with it.
Yeah,
when you're telling your brothers about your dream.
Maybe add a little something into it to make sure that they're bowing down to him. That was, maybe a little too far.
I don't know. I have two brothers, and I feel like
You want them to bow down to you?
It's very important that you establish dominance. early
Dominance
on.
right from the beginning. I'm not going to say their actions were justified by that, because you should never sell anyone into slavery.
Well, it went from
Matt,
kill.
don't do
first,
that.
Right? They were like, how are we going to kill this guy? But
Matt shaking his head right now. He disagrees. I don't know. No.
that's funny. But honestly, things were great and they just went bad.
Yeah.
And things went good and then they went bad. And that's the story of Joseph, why it's
You're
fascinating.
like, man, this guy can't catch a break.
He can't catch a break.
It
But
was all part of God's plan.
all part of God's plan. So that's why the big thing was he was able to look at God's perspective,
Yeah.
what was going to happen. And I think he understood that. That was able to help him stay faithful through all of that, which I'm like, man, I probably would have just quit after being thrown into a well. So.
Yeah, my life is starting to look pretty good. I'm stressing out about a lot of things,
Yeah.
but when you look at it compared to Joseph's journey,
Yeah, it's
he was the right person for the right time for what God had for them, and he remained faithful.
through it
Right.
all.
So we just got off the Samson. I said salmon again. Samson series, and it's in contrast to Joseph's story.
Yeah, and that's what I was telling him.
Samson
about,
had
too.
opportunity to do right and be the deliverer.
Yeah.
But his character got in the way. Joseph had been given far less, but his character remained strong throughout.
Yeah.
And he was the deliverer that Samson never really was.
Think about it. He was in Potiphar's house, in charge of all his money and stuff.
Yeah.
You could have easily just been pocketing some of that money,
Yeah.
or kind of tried.
And
to,
no one would have thought, everyone would be like, the dude deserves a break,
he
right?
was sold into slavery by his brothers,
Yeah.
and now so he's trying to figure his way out. But so he had a lot of those opportunities where he could have done wrong,
Yeah,
but stayed
he did
faithful
right.
to God, and because of that, God was with Joseph. So
Yeah. Do you feel like you got enough time on Sunday to be able to explain those kind of things? Yeah. That's how I feel. That would be I would love to just be able to talk about that aspect of it, because I think that what you're talking about is so applicable in our lives of just saying, hey, I'm in a really tough situation. I just want to I want to break from it. I
Right.
want to give up for a second. But if we look at Joseph, he did something different, right?
Exactly.
He leaned into his difficulties.
He leaned
in life.
into it. And that's probably the most difficult thing about when I chose Joseph and the hard time. Just like, this guy's got 13 chapters and I got 30 to 35 minutes.
Right.
But yeah, so there's a lot going on in
Yeah.
that story.
Well,
But
good
he was
job.
able to stay faithful. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. We're off to a good start here. So how did God use these bad experiences in Joseph's life? How did he use those bad things for good in so many other people's lives?
Yeah, so it's kind of like talking about like what we just talked about.
Yeah.
I believe God was building a leader for a specific purpose because he had that purpose because
Mm-hmm.
he knew what he was needing Joseph for. So through all those trials and tribulations, it was building this character of a leader, you know,
Mm-hmm.
a character of integrity. Because we said, you know, he was there at Potiphar's house and
Yeah.
he had to have integrity there. And he had the situation with Potiphar's wife.
Right.
And so to be moral,
Yeah.
patience,
Yeah.
12 years in prison.
Yeah.
Right. And you're sitting there thinking like, well, God, when's this going to happen? So
Yeah.
I think through all of that, God was able to take all those bad experiences and say, hey, I am molding you to become the leader, because the leader does need to be that. It
Right.
needs to be patient, needs to be humble, needs to be forgiving, needs to be able to look at someone who sold you into slavery and say, hey, I'm going to take care of you now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wish I was that good of a leader. I want God
Yeah.
to mold me. Like, maybe not that way.
Yeah.
Don't mold me that way.
Right.
But yeah.
And I talk about that quite a bit in like the Bible study that I get to do on Thursdays online, of like just God using bad situations in our life for good. Of
Yeah.
like, I struggle personally with like stress and anxiety in my life, but I find that like talking about it and like trying to help other people have the same thing, like it also heals me too. So like something that's bad in my life that I wish I didn't have to deal with, if I can get through it, I can use that situation to help other people who might be struggling with the same things.
Yeah, to be able to use those things, how God brought you through it, and to say, hey, I dealt with that too. I still do deal
Right.
with it, and here's what I do and what God's
Yeah.
helped me through. And so I think that's exactly what he did with Joseph. He was just creating this
Right.
leader through all of that, which and those times when we're like those bad things
Yeah.
are happening, it's hard to see that.
Right. And the difference between what Joseph did and what Samson did was Joseph saw those difficulties, those challenges as an opportunity for him to be faithful in God, and he trusted God.
Right.
Whereas we see in Samson, he didn't.
Right.
He sought out revenge and a grudge over what he should have been doing.
Yeah. Imagine just putting Samson in
Yeah.
all those spots where Joseph is, and you see a different story.
Yes. Okay. Question number 3. Is there anything you didn't get to say on Sunday that you wish you would have said?
Yeah, so when I think about that, I think
Yeah.
I kind of answered it up at the beginning.
Right.
It's like it's so difficult because I was like, I will only spend like 10 minutes going through the life of Joseph, and I only use like 3 scriptures because I was like, I got to paraphrase the rest of this. But there's so much that's happening. But like the one thing that I was like, I hate that I have to skim over this is his interaction with his brothers when his brothers came to Egypt.
Yeah.
And that interaction going back and forth and the forgiveness and everything. I'm like, I wish I could have stuck there more. And the character of Joseph
Yeah.
during that point.
Yeah.
Rather-
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, rather
Yeah.
than like skipping over that. But the thing is, it didn't go well with what I was.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
it didn't make sense to spend a lot
Yeah.
of time on that.
So I'm just curious, question along those lines. Why did that piece of it stick out to you?
Oh, that part?
Yeah, that part. Was there the reason I'm asking is is that challenging to you? Is it something that you can relate to? Is
Yeah.
it something that you think that other people could gain wisdom from? Why was that piece important to you?
Well, I kind of alluded a little bit in the sermon.
Yeah.
That, like when we understood that Joseph knew that this was for a greater purpose, is we can go back to that point of the story, because the way he interacted with his brothers, you all of a sudden realize like, oh, Joseph had this mindset almost the entire time. Because when he said, hey, when you sold me, God sent me. And
Yeah.
that just like blows my mind. That was his perspective.
it's a nice alliteration too.
Yeah. He doesn't say it like back to back. It's
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 verses.
But I like the way you said it there.
Yeah,
It's like
I'm
very
like-
pastoral of you.
You know, I got some good role models in my
Here.
life, especially David Rudd's the greatest role model
Yeah.
ever. I hope
is
he
a
watches this later. Does he? No, but you know, I just think that interaction shows that like who Joseph is as a person, because when you read the story of Joseph, it goes so fast that in my mind as a kid, I'm like, oh, this happened over like a couple months,
Right.
but it was like 12 years.
Yeah, a long period of time.
And now all of a sudden he's got his chance, and he's like, no, that's not it at all.
Yeah.
Because you would think that he'd have all this built up
Yeah.
grudge.
He endured for a long time in a position that was not good.
Yeah. And yeah.
Especially spending time in jail. Like you're like, man, he was in slavery, and then oh wow, he got put in this great position and he's got all these great leadership abilities, so he moved up quickly.
Yeah.
And then he gets accused of something that he didn't
Didn't
do.
And now in prison.
Now in prison.
It doesn't really say how long each one.
And then
All
he's
we
in
know-
charge of prison.
Yeah, he's in charge. It cracks me up. He's like, because the Lord was with Joseph, he was successful and put in charge of all the prisoners. I'm like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like, was the jailer just not wanting to do his job? He's like, hey, Joseph, you got it.
It's kind of like, so I substitute teach. It's kind of like putting one of the
Prison
students
is
in.
just like teaching.
I mean, in a lot of ways.
Well, what's funny is I
A
think
very planned day. They have to sit. They have to stay in their seats.
a couple of students were trying to like make that discussion the other day of like,
Gotta use a
just
ref-
like it.
I mean, there's a lot of similarities. I mean, I don't want to. I'm not going to allude to that, but
I probably felt the same way when I was in school.
Yeah.
I'm honest, but now when I look back, I'm like, man, I wish that my only stress in life was going to school right now.
yeah, I think it's the lack of choice for kids. They just can't really. They don't. They just are told what to do so much.
Yeah.
Which kind of leads us into possibly our next question from John, which is our cultural question for the day.
So here's my question. All right. So the three of us are all dads with younger kids. And so my question is, what is something you guys are doing right now intentionally to be a good dad?
Yeah, yeah. I can go with this. You're okay
Go-
with me going
go
first?
for it, yeah.
Because I was thinking about this question when you posed a little bit earlier. So number one, showing love every chance I get. If I have to punish, right afterwards, like directly after, I always, show affection and say, Daddy doesn't want to do this, but I have to because I want you to learn. I want you to be a good kid. I don't keep it. It's not a long speech because, my son's 5. He's not going to take a long speech, but I just said, I want you to know that I love you. Like, I know that what we just went through was probably really stressful for you. This is in my mind. I'm not saying this, but I just always end any type of punishment with, I want you to know that Daddy loves you and he will always love you no matter what. I don't want to do this, but I have to do it because I want you to be a good kid. So I do that. And then the other thing that I always do is I make my kids repeat. And I guarantee you they're going to grow up and they're going to make fun of me for this. But I think it's important to not only when I tell you to do something, that you say it too, that you're taking part in it. So I will say I'm just going to use Cade as example. I'm not punishing him a lot, but he's the one, because he's littler, I'm doing more of it with him. But when he does something wrong or he's not listening, I'll say to him, I'm like, Cade, I want you to say, I will be a listener. And he'll repeat, I will be a listener. Say, I will be a good boy. And he'll say, I will be a good boy. And I will make good choices. So I just make him repeat those things. When I'll have a conversation with him first, I'm like, what you're doing is not good. You're not being a good boy. I want you to be a good boy. And I tell him what good boys do. And then I say, okay, I want you to repeat this. I will be a good boy. I will be a listener.
Yeah.
Just because I want them to not just be hearing it. I want those words coming out of their mouth.
Right.
Because I want them to take ownership of it ultimately.
Yeah. And I would agree with a lot of that. I do that a lot with Judah. Now, our 2 younger ones are 1. So just being present with them and getting down on the floor. As soon as I walk into a room right now, Aaron, the twin, he's 1 year old, he'll look at me and go, book, and he literally grab a book. So I make sure I spend time with him. But Judah, I do a lot of the very similar things. So when he does something wrong, I set him down, and then usually he gets upset, but to make sure that he understands, why are you sitting here?
Yeah.
And then, to also know that we still love him and stuff, but I try to model a lot of stuff with him too.
Yeah.
Even when Sam and I may get in an argument, we try to always make sure Judah knows hey, we got an argument, but we still love each other, and try to model that, things happen, but you still got to love each other. But also the fun stuff with Judah too. I enjoy just getting him out, going fishing.
Yeah.
And just having all that fun stuff. And right now he's really into cards.
Yeah. What kind of cards?
Well, he was Pokemon.
Yeah, that's what my son's into.
But he's
loves the
switching.
Pokemon. Okay, to what?
Sports cards.
Okay, cool.
And I think it was because I took him to a card show a couple weeks ago, because a couple of our teens were there with a booth. So I took him there, and man, they were handing him Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase cards. And now every week he wants to go to the sports card shop
That's cool.
and buy these things. So like taking him to do that kind of stuff and just be intentional that, you know, we are busy as pastors and doing things that like when I have time at home, I want to be intentional with that time of like doing stuff with him. That's fun.
Yeah.
Those memories of like my dad doing stuff with me when he had time, or just doing those things.
Yeah. You don't have to, you know, like no one has to convince me to do things with my kids and my family. Cause like I genuinely like, it's the favorite part of my day and of my life of when I get to do those things. So like Maria has to tell me to tone it down cause I'm always trying to plan things for us to do fun stuff as a family. And like, she just wants to chill, you know, like I'm like always wanting to be doing stuff with them and, you know.
Yeah, I come home, I get them all wild. We'd be just running in circles.
Nighttime,
And
do you
Sam's
do that
trying to
at
cook.
nighttime?
Oh yeah. Well, Sam had a thing last night.
It turns into wrestling session.
Yeah, well, Sam
That's
had
what I do.
Sam had a
Maria's
thing.
like, we're trying to get him to calm down, not get crazy. I'm like,
My kid
oh,
full on punched me in the eye the other day, and it actually kind of hurt.
You're like one part of me, I'm actually proud of you,
I'm
but
so
also
proud of
you shouldn't be punching your dad in the face.
That's a great right hook, son. No, I mean, last night Sam had a thing, and she normally puts Judah to bed, and they read the Bible and stuff. And so last night she was gone, so I did it.
Yeah.
So we read his Bible story, and he's like, "Can we wrestle?" And so like we just wrestled for like 10 minutes, and he was like
hilarious.
sweating out of breath. He's like, "All right, I'm gonna go to bed now."
Yeah, that's funny. Almost the exact same. What you just said, the same thing happened to me. But in the opposite order. Is it? Kate came in and we're like, I'm trying to. Right now, Kate and Harper. He'll be in his room some, but mostly he wants to sleep with her, and she kind of likes it too.
Yeah.
But they have a queen bed in there that they sleep in. But we'll do the Bible story. So we always do that at night. But he came in before Harper had got in there and was like, Dad, can we wrestle? And I'm like, yes.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely. So
Great.
Cool. Follow-up question with that.
Yeah.
So you guys both mentioned spending time with your kids, but sometimes that's hard to do because you have so much other stuff. What are things you're doing to intentionally create like a boundary or whatever so that you do have that time to be intentional with your family?
Scheduling. Honestly, scheduling anymore because you get so busy with life sometimes it's hard to like, you just got to plan it out. For us, we just have to plan it out. Now, there are times, the spur of the moment things like, oh, hey, we got a couple hours. Let's go get ice cream. Let's go down to the park. But it's honestly just scheduling things and just being intentional about, hey, this weekend we have nothing going on. And I'm not going to plan anything. You don't plan anything.
Yeah.
Let's do something with just the kids and have fun. So for us, it's just scheduling.
I would agree with that. And I have one other thought on it too is making sacrifices in the sense of like, hey, like I know maybe we have a really busy schedule and it would be easy to say, let's just, stay at home. Let's not do anything, fun out of the ordinary. But I'm going to have a really busy day because I know that we're going to create a memory from something like yesterday we did the same thing. It's the only day that was going to be 70. So I prepped everyone. I'm like, we're going on a hike because I knew that it takes me a while to get my family, ready to do that. Cause
mentally and physically.
Yeah. Well, cause Kate, I want to play with my friend Harper. I want to do this. And like to get everyone on the same page takes a little bit, but I feel like everyone making a sacrifice to say, we all are just going to do this fun thing together.
Yeah.
Cause we all maybe fight it, but then when we get there, we have a really good time.
Yeah.
So
we're going on a hike and you will like it.
You will enjoy it. Mandatory fun day.
That's right. You're going to have fun. Everyone smile.
All right. Well, hey, it's been fun today. Thanks for joining us, taking your time out to be here. John, we appreciate you as well. And Matt, good job.
Enjoy the Peeps.
Enjoy the Peeps.
You can have these.
He will not say no to that. So thanks for joining us on the podcast today, and we will see you back here next week.